in for a pound.
Sure.
No doubt. It's like I'm already sleeping on the couch. He goes,
Speaking of sleeping on the couch, Tyler has updated Windows. Microsoft's happy with him, so he no longer has to sleep on the couch. His computer's working. He looks amazing. The lighting's great. We are live on the internet here on Myth Brigade. Back from Chaosium Con. Happy to be playing with these folks. Byron, we're good. Don't know if the audio's jittery or not. I'll check that. Or maybe Tyler can check that.
Yeah, maybe if I can hear it as
Oh, I'm sure it's fine.
nope, doesn't sound jittery.
Yay. That's what happens when you don't use your dock. When you just plug hardware directly into your...
Oh, did you stop using the dock?
Yeah. Well, for that, yeah.
Nice.
So
Oh,
I've got a schematic of how I got to plug stuff in. It
Nice.
involves sacrifice and prayer to the King in Yellow. Yeah, so we're live. Byron, fucking kill us. Kill us, please.
Welcome
They just
to
suffer so
another
much.
episode of Night's Black Agents. For all of you who are here, we're freshly off the heels of Chaosium Con, and if you weren't there, you fucking missed it, because it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was great.
Anybody who wants to get some private time, or I guess that really sounds bad, but some FaceTime with the Chaosium crew, or a lot of the content creators from Miskatonic Repository.
Oh, now we broke Byron. Uh-oh. That's me. Oh, come on.
It was a quaint little weekend, 3 days. We had a relatively nice banquet. The food was pretty good. I had ahi tuna steak. It was pretty amazing. I don't know what anybody else had because we were drinking a lot.
I had the drinks.
Yeah.
Yep. I had peach sangria and some kind of Fruit Loop vodka that Tyler gave me lots of.
It was delicious.
Yep.
It was tasty. There, you can actually look at the Chaosium Facebook page, and you can see our crew holding up the old the red Solo cups. We are the red Solo crew. In the back of the banquet hall, we're in our cooler of liquor. Yeah, it was really nice. Got to talk face to face with David Larkins, and Tara led a interesting conversation with John Wick. And yeah, we had a lot of fun. It was a blast,
who
man.
agreed in principle to actually hop on and get involved with our 7th Sea game, which is coming up soon. So we'll see if he holds true to his word or if he's just a filthy pirate.
Facts.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
so we're having a blast. So I already know what Tara and Jason and Tyler's been doing. So Dan, what's going on? How's the board game business?
Oh, the board game business is booming.
Uh-oh.
It's booming. It keeps rolling on and on and on. We're like
What do you-
watching ports in China like spill over now, because Guangdong now is getting spilled over from Shanghai and other cities. So like it's like a cascade of events that are going to delay games from being delivered. So we're learning how to do that. But I have my libations, and I'm ready to either kill or be killed by vampires. So
What you drinking tonight?
cheers.
we're drinking
Blood.
a little Glenlivet and cola.
Ooh, Glenlivet 15, smooth.
Tasty.
Brent, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Leaving leaving work was a very happy thing for me. I worked very late this evening, but I am happy to be here so I can be continually traumatized.
And we're happy that
Bye.
you got home as quickly as you did, but as safely as well. So-
With what I can only call from last time we played the Hole of Horrors, because I don't know how tight it is in this particular hole, but I envisioned us crawling into it to be able to get into the chamber. But maybe it's bigger than I originally thought.
No, not that much bigger.
So I'm gonna stick with it being the Hole of Horrors.
So yeah,
I'm writing that down. The Hole of Horrors.
So
There's
if you
so
did
many things I
tune
could
in-
say about that
If you
brand. I
didn't
won't.
tune into the last episode, for those that are watching, a little quick recap. They flew to Naples, Italy, to go to the Capuchin Crypt, which, and to investigate. It was built out of the bones of thousands of Franciscan monks, and they investigated a little bit. Got the tour from the young girl that was the tour guide. She was filling in for the lady that they had talked to over the phone, who was unavailable. Found some very interesting clues, which began to lead them on a dark and twisted road. And they exposed some of the solaces and things from the beginning of the game that were kind of left just kind of dangling out there, per se. And yeah, so now they're definitely dangling out there after moving through basically a tunnelway that had some blood that was splattered and so forth. They came across a gruesome scene of some very important people in their lives, in their characters' lives, that aren't going to make it. And they were basically strewn up and hung up like a marionette gallery inside this space under the tomb. And so that's kind of where we left off.
Hey, buddy.
And so as... Yeah,
I-
go ahead, Tar.
I hate you. I hate you so much right now. I was hoping that was like a dream sequence, and you're just gonna be like, "No, that's fine."
Right. It was a hallucination, right? It was a hallucination, Byron.
It was a group
You're still telling yourself
hallucination.
that as you look up and see the blood dripping off of your sponsor's flayed carcass.
I'm
Is it
not in there.
angles?
I'm outside. Remember?
Oh, you didn't give it. You didn't
Yeah,
tell me
she
what
was she was walking up
I have-
behind.
I
and
did.
we-
I left.
Yeah, we were.
Oh.
Yeah, she hauled ass.
Evan followed me out. Who else followed me out?
Well, Johnny never went in. Johnny was always outside.
Okay, so you were outside. with me.
I think everyone else is in. Well,
So it's just the two of you that are in, because Evan and Johnny and I are outside.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you said Evan and Johnny are inside.
No, Evan and Johnny and I are outside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
let's
Lily
start there.
and
Let's start there.
Tesla.
Yeah.
It's like saying, Dr. Mitchell, do you think these are normal Franciscan monks, or
I
monks,
thought
or do you think these
Evan
are
was
free-range
in-
organic Franciscan monk folks? Sorry, we were having a conversation outside. Yes, Johnny was covering the gate.
I thought Evan was in there for some reason.
Evan was. So Evan was in.
both
Dr.
were.
Mitchell was toward the back, I think. And we were trying to. I think I might have seen the situation with her sponsor first and tried to be like, no, don't let her. But she ultimately saw it and lost her shit, I think, and left. So we would be entering this in that moment of like panic and such, I think, right? Like, and Johnny, you would have heard it all. Were you down there to see it?
I was on the microphones because you guys said the microphones were on.
Mhm.
Right.
They're
so
always
that,
on yet.
yeah. And so Lily, I remember, was sort of, I thought, somewhat in the lead. And then I thought that Evan had
Evan
gone
was
in.
trying to race down there, and I stopped him.
Right.
We carefully proceeded forward and found the corpse.
Okay, so the only people who actually went in the room and has seen it is Evan, Lily,
And Terry.
and Terry. Okay, so there were some other individuals there that you don't know who they were.
Okay.
You mean like
Um,
hanging in the room?
Yes.
Are there any identifying things on them, like on their clothes or in their pockets?
The one has a wedding ring on her finger,
Suggest
and the one is a young, well, not that young, but adult, definitely a younger woman that looks kind of like the other one.
And so Lily and Tesla are in there. Is that right?
To my knowledge, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Evan would come out, and I think probably just he's in this moment where he's completely lost. Maybe it's clear that like the vampiric side of him is coming out. His eyes are like big almond shaped, kind of like in his teeth maybe or whatever. But he's in a absolute fucking rage and panic, a mixture of those things, as he comes out. Just probably shouting some sort of, I don't know, incoherent whatever. She's gone, he's gone now. They got us all. Johnny! Like grabs you and shakes you by your coat.
You're really strong, right? So like you're super strong now. Is that right?
Yeah, not quite that hard.
Yeah.
Evan, get a grip on yourself.
No, you don't understand. It's a bloodbath down there, Johnny.
Lily, Tesla, if you do not recognize the bodies, assume that someone else in this group does, and do not relay the
None
descriptions.
of them have skin, so it's kind of hard to recognize people.
Excellent.
It's more skin that they have than the rest.
Evan, this was a trap laid for us. Understand, we are walking into an emotional trap. All right? Don't allow them to get the better of you. Take a moment. What's happened's happened. We need to sort it out, but slowly.
You don't know what
And
you're
if
saying.
I can spend some points to help Evan get his grip.
They got Heather and they got Dr. Mitchell's sponsor. For fuck's sake, Johnny, it's probably whoever you care for most is down there dead as well. He's in our fucking heads. He needs to die. And he needs to die now.
All right, can I spend either stability or reassurance to like help Evan get a grip, or does he need to get a grip?
You can, but the number is going to be a little high because he's clearly upset over his solace. Because his main source of stability is Anne there.
I can't help myself. I'll approach the bodies because I obviously I have this awful sinking feeling in my gut.
Over the microphone, I say, Tesla, don't. Don't.
Well, as they move around like meat wind chimes hanging from the ceiling.
Did you say meat?
Yes, he
chimes?
did. I love
Like
that.
matches?
So
Okay.
Are there pole beans growing up around them?
Yeah, maybe.
Dude,
Maybe. Tesla, you come face to face with what you feared would be there.
Is it both of them?
Yeah. And they're sewn together at the hands.
Oh.
And there's a little sign on her shirt that says, "Family should always stay together."
Just goes real quiet. I just stare there. I just stand there and stare.
Tesla. We've lost him. Lily! Tesla! He's freaking out. Like, are the museum people or the people from the ossuary like around? Or we're down
You're looking around. There's no one else there.
Well, that's good. This will make quite a scene for the tourists.
Maybe.
What they paid? Is that what you said?
They paid. They got their ticket.
Yeah, exactly.
They're getting their money's worth.
We
Supposed
didn't
to be
even
a
have to pay
horrifying
for the extra
monument. Are you
show.
horrified yet?
If I don't know if I can do something else. Like, can I spend the points? All right. So, is it reassurance or stability I need to spend?
Reassurance, so that he can make a stability roll.
All right. I will spend 3 points of reassurance on Evan. Evan, remember what we spoke about. And I'll start to repeat the reassuring phrases that I know. Put my hand on his shoulder, despite the fact that he's shaking me around like a rag doll. Best I can. Say, This was a trap. This is intentional. Do not allow them to get the better of you. Understand you're being manipulated.
Byron, you tell me, is that really any comfort?
It's tough, man. Yeah, I guess you have to search down and figure out how emotionally attached Evan was to Heather.
If you wish
purely.
to get revenge for those that you love, you're going to have to maintain your sanity at this moment. It is the only way you will ever get retribution.
Enough of the nursery rhymes, Walcott. He needs to fucking die, and he needs to die now. That will calm me down. I pat
And
Johnny
if
on
you-
the chest. That will calm me. No, not like. But no, just
He's
that.
only that strong when he wants to be.
Understand, this is what he wants. He wants you to act rashly and walk into the next phase of his trap. You
Which
must
is what?
remain calm.
Does he kill the
Must-
rest of you?
It's like it's not even a trap. It's a message. Yeah, it's like I thought that when I, after everything that happened, after I got drummed out of DARPA and sent into early retirement, I knew about these things and nobody believed me. So I thought that if I just disappeared, that it was gonna keep them safe. It's like no, there's no reason why anyone would do this other than just being pure evil. It's like it never went after his children. It was soldiers fighting soldiers. It was soldiers fighting soldiers, not this.
That's where you're wrong.
He's some kind of he's
Set of
supposed to be some
person.
kind of goddamn ancient warlord. I thought he might have some kind of honor code or something.
Did I hear Lily's voice? Lily, are you all right? Like
Not
pace.
a person. He's a monster.
Exactly. It's exactly what he is.
Well, he's managed to separate us. How far away did we travel to get back out of that place that we were in?
20 feet or so.
Okay. Oh, not okay. So we could almost shout to each other if we had to.
Yeah, you
Almost-
could.
Okay.
It would definitely echo.
So what, Johnny? Do we press forward then? Or do we listen to
we
the
need-
message and think this through?
Is there more passageway? This is the end, is it not?
No, it just ends. It's almost like the top is like built like a almost like a gilded bird cage in a way, and then like the more skulls and stuff have been stacked in the corners, and it's kind of like a, if you could picture like a Tweety bird cage made of skulls, and the marionette show hanging from the center of it.
You know what? I think he's taken what's most precious to us. There's something in the desert that he is quite fond of as well. Perhaps.
would offer that if the intention was to have us act rashly now, the question then becomes, what expectation did he have for us? And where has he laid that trap? For all I know, he's laid it right outside these gates right now, expecting one of us to run madly out into the open, seeking revenge, if there's nothing further to see within. Lily, I know they're flayed. Are there any possessions or any mounds on the floor within the room?
What do I see?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, there is, there's like part of the flesh from the bodies that's kind of lining the bottom of the floor. Pieces of clothing and stuff that looks like they were hastily sliced and strewn by some sort of vicious weapon. And amongst that stuff, kind of underneath it, is a body of a middle-aged Italian woman. She has like a shoulder bag like over like one of those like professor's bags over her shoulder, her car keys in her hand.
Does she fit any description that we know? Or
She's not.
Can we figure out who the missing person was? Who the lady who just took over for her job? You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah, you with some, Evan could probably pull some stuff up.
Do I need a roll for that, Byron? Need to spend a point or what?
Yeah, and I'm gonna give you basically you need 1 point higher just due to your emotional state currently.
Okay. Well, so yeah, what
So
are,
make
what
it-
are they asking me
Raise
to
the
do?
difficulty by 1.
So I'm doing what? Data.
Digital intrusion. Probably.
Okay.
I just other in between kind of muttering to myself a little bit. I say it's like this isn't even the kind of message. It's like this is really just a challenge to us. It's like he's just changed the entire game. It's like this isn't. I can't imagine he knows us. If he did all this research to find out about this, he knows that we're not the type of people that are gonna break. It's like he just knows. It's like he wants to play with us. Like he wants us to get serious with him.
exactly, just as he did in the novel. This is his game. He is absolute evil, and the one joy he has is to get at those who would, even at us, who would come at him, so to speak. There's no greater joy for him. Now we've entered his orbit. Congratulations. We're now in his consciousness. He now is aware of us, and he's taking measures. I would offer in equal parts. This means that A, he sees us as potentially dangerous, but B, basically now all is fair game. And expect
go
no
through
one
this
to
woman's
spare.
purse. So you get a purse.
I think I'd be
Right.
looking at my fingers, and they're somewhat withering, and I'm noticing like a difference in them. Maybe they're a little more spindly or something, and I'm thinking, or are we just an amusement, Johnny?
Oh, we are definitely that. Remember, he's an immortal. I mean, what possible entertainments are left for him? And remember, these are old habits. He drives men insane for sheer pleasure, and then to use them as tools. If you allow your minds to become unraveled, and again, it is up to you, then he will absolutely use it to his advantage. I would not be surprised if he attempted to overcome one of us to use us against the rest. This is the tactics that he displayed in the novel. This is what he will do now.
So
If anything, he's a creature of habit. Well, at least we have that advantage. So we know this is coming.
So Byron, I spent 3 points. I rolled a 6, so I got a 9 from my digital
Good enough.
intrusion. Yeah.
So,
That's
so
good enough.
John, do you want to know what he left for you?
Whom are you addressing, Tesla?
I said Johnny. Yeah. Do you want to?
It's
Do you
probably
actually,
best that I do not know. I would record whatever it is. Perhaps we need to bring the ring in here to mop up the remains. I think what we need to do now is actually be very careful about our next steps. Perhaps, Evan, a satellite feed, a live one, if you can bring one up on the outside of this dwelling to make sure that there's nothing waiting for us outside. Again, I would imagine he may expect us to act rashly at this point.
I would do that. Let me try to tap into not just satellite, but see if I can tap into the security cameras around the entrances, the gift shops. I'm sure they've got them. They've got to with a historic site like this.
Absolutely, yeah. It's easy to do, and you were able to with that roll to pull up like a photograph of the professor at the Roman university in Rome, and sure enough, the body with the professor's bag and the car keys is her.
Identity confirmed. Lily, you should get the car keys. Let's search the vehicle. It's going
Yeah,
to be
we
on
can
the
get the
property
idea
somewhere.
that if her car keys are in her hand, perhaps she was on her way to her vehicle.
Right, and the vehicle's still here.
Could be in the parking lot.
We need a car anyway.
And
Could
she
be,
has like
could
a
be
bag.
booby trapped.
We need a car anyway.
Agreed.
Is that what you said, Jason?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
So nice of her to let us have. It'd be like a, it'll be like a fucking Mini Cooper or something, a smart car.
So forgive me. This is the professor, or this is who? Who is the woman?
There's another body in here.
There's two unidentified bodies. The one is at the bottom, and the one is hanging. You would assume, since nobody has identified it, that person is probably related to Walcott.
Yes, that which is what Johnny has done, and Johnny wants to hear none of it.
Yep.
This is what he. If this is what he wants, then this is what I shall deny him. It is serves one purpose and one purpose only, but to distract me and each of us from our task. So we must take advantage of the situation as best we can. Is there any sign of any activity outside, Evan?
Byron, what is
Nothing other than the normal stuff. It looks like this place is relatively deserted. Like you don't like. There's no tourists around right now. There's no. It's weird.
It's oddly
It's
quiet,
probably like
but I don't see
yeah,
anything.
it's like 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
What time does it close for tourists? Is it a 5 o'clock closure or is
7.
it 7? That's weird.
What
Do I
happened
see
to
any
our
staff?
tour?
The people taking tickets or anything like that? Do I see?
There's no one out there.
This was a good call, Johnny. I don't see like the normal foot traffic, even for a slow day. I don't see any staff or anything like that. We should
Seems
be on
clear.
high alert.
Tesla, do you have any equipment that can do a scan of the area for strong magnetic or even weak magnetic impulses? I'm wondering if there's.
I mostly made weaponry to fight against that.
He probably has something. He probably has something out in the car.
Um,
But like, I doubt he would have brought it into the building.
I'm like, we're gonna have to get rid of. So I'll say this as I'm holding their like sewn together hands, and I slip the ring off of her finger and put it into my pocket. It's like we're gonna, considering who we're dealing with, we're gonna have to get rid of these in a more permanent fashion. You know, just because the legends, you know.
You're worried they're going
Not
to
at
come
that
back?
Point. Evan, rewind the video of the local cameras that are on our cars since we've arrived. See if anyone's can tamper with any of our equipment or our automobiles.
Yeah. Okay.
Do the same for the woman whose keys they found, if you can.
I don't know
It's
what
like,
kind of.
I'll go check.
We need to
I'll go
identify
check
her
out
vehicle first.
our vehicle and see.
Well, I would caution you to leave the building until Evan has done a cursory check.
I don't know what sort of vehicle she's driving. Tesla, can you tell me? Look at the
Click little
key.
panic bar.
Is it a, look at the key? Is it a Toyota? Is it, what is
It's
it?
close enough. So he
Yeah, I
clicks
can
the
pretty
pan.
much-
He clicks the
Click the panic button.
The panic thing. It's
It's
like
that one.
I watch for flashing lights on the cameras.
oh
to
yeah, you see it.
And then
Okay.
I'll stop it as soon as he says he got it.
All right, so I with that position in mind, I just kind of scrub back and watch to see people kind of coming and going in fast speed, right? But look for anybody. Well, actually, see if I can get far enough back that I can see her leaving her vehicle.
That's a good idea.
So it depends on how much time you want to spend doing that. So you can scroll back. It looks like it's been like you're fast forwarding, and in a matter of minutes, you go through probably a couple hours worth of video because it's going at such a speed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so as you're watching it, you realize that you can literally speed up how fast it's reversing, and you're still able to follow it.
Yeah, I was just picturing that. That's amazing. So I think my eyes are kind of darting back and forth.
Yeah,
I
your
kinda-
eyes are kind of darting back and forth, but literally you can follow all the movement, and you see, and it's like you're looking at it regularly, but literally it's going at like 15 times speed.
Nice. I will go
And-
back until that car parks. Well, as long as or until Johnny interrupts me, and I don't see any. Nobody messed with our vehicle, did they? Or equipment?
No one's met this vehicle or-
Are-
So it
Tesla-
looks like it's at least hours before your vehicle arrives before you even see her get out of her vehicle or walk. You start to see her actually as it's going in reverse. I'm trying to think of what would you say. You would see all of a sudden the video goes black. And when the video goes black, you feel like literally from the video straight into you, you can feel like this tug.
Yeah, I just
Like
I found it. Fuck, Johnny, I can't watch this. That's
What
not
time? How much before now did this occur?
right. I look at the delta. How many hours was it before we
about
arrived?
10 hours.
10 hours. You want to watch it? I hit the space. I turned the laptop to Johnny and hit the space bar and
I'll watch.
let it run.
So yeah, as it, like I said, it goes black because you see her like, you're following a video thing, and then all of a sudden the video goes black, and then you watch it for like 10 minutes or so, and then you see the video comes back on, and you can see her like walking backwards into the building because it's in reverse. So you see her backwards walking and back into the building.
Okay, so while she was outside, something came in and blacked it out, and then we reversed further and we see her walking backwards from the building.
Yeah. So it's like she walked out to her car, something happened that went all black, then the video picked up after that.
Was she arriving before the place opened, like really early in the morning or something weird, like that no one was around to witness?
It looked like she was leaving the night before.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay.
So if it's going backwards, I'm sorry, is it going backwards from the building to her car, or
No, from her car to the building.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's facing her car, but like if you watch a video in reverse, she's walking backwards into the. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but that means the blackness occurred before she got to her car.
It occurred right around the same time as she got to her car, and then it was black for about 10 minutes, and then you see her car, but you don't see her anymore. And then about
it goes black. And then
right,
she's not.
and then about 9.5 hours time later, you guys arrive.
All right.
So that means he would have, by default, he would have had to have already been rounding them up by the time you made the call to talk to her the day before.
How does he know?
It's probably the same way that the mistress knew certain things. They have sight that I can't explain. As I was watching that video, it's going to sound stupid, but I almost felt like something in it was reaching out to me.
But we know that your blood is from the mistress in Germany, but that's not from his line, correct?
Yes, as far as I know.
This pull that you felt, was it? Could you tell who it was?
No, it was just cold and frightening. It's a
So
darkness
not positive.
It's a darkness I've not felt. Johnny, we should strike his heart. He's taken ours.
I'll just respond with, I don't think he cares about anything.
You don't think he'd be upset if we visited the desert and took his flower away? Really?
Well,
it's Lilith, right?
If he really cared that much, wouldn't he keep her closer?
Don't you think that perhaps that's part of the risk that he's evaluated? She's on our map. We discussed taking her out and changed our mind at the last minute to come here. Let's kill her.
Why do it this way? Why has he chosen to strike in this way? I can understand the intention to torment us, and yet he knew where we would be. And he's killed these people, some of them tangential to us, some of them dearly a part of us. So that would mean that his intention is to strike at those. May I ask a blunt question? Are there any individuals among you that are particularly important to you at this point?
No.
I mean, left for us.
Well, left?
Yes, still alive. Yes, left.
There's one.
Everything that really mattered to me was in that room.
Unless we think he's done, perhaps his next step is to go after all that is left of us. And it may be that he will continue to do so. So it may be that we should tactically go find those individuals and set them as traps. At the very least, we might catch one of his henchmen who are set to commit the deed.
All that remains that is of value or importance to me, Johnny, is in this room with me right now. I suggest that we strike back and show him just the kind of enemy that he's made.
I don't disagree with you. However, my only concern is that this is the move he's anticipated. In fact, instigated.
Is it?
And thus we're maybe playing into his game.
Or is he trying to strike enough fear in our hearts that makes us turn away? I mean, at the end of the day, we're all just human, aren't we? What we saw down there, I've never seen anything fucking like it. Not even on ogreish.com.
I mean, he's foolish if he thought that was going to work that way. No, I think he wanted us to. He wants this to be serious. Like whatever weird part of him that has lived for so long, it's like he's calling us to arms. I think.
Is that not our purpose, though? When your partner wants to dance, and you want to dance, then you fucking dance. Let's go, Tesla. This is your chance. Are you gonna wait until he whittles away one of us at a time, and it's just you and he?
Oh no! No, I'm saying that we need to bring this whole thing to a head. You know, we've been slowly and pitifully, barely even hurting his network, whatever network he has, whatever assets he's built up. It's like who knows if we've ever done any actual lasting damage to him. No, I mean it's all him.
So the black site.
It doesn't matter who we destroy, or which of his, whatever you want to call them, children, we destroy. I don't think it'll make a difference. It all comes down to him.
There's a black site in the desert. Something very important to him is there. There could be research that Dr. Mitchell would be able to leverage to learn more about what could affect him. For all we know, if we face him directly, we'll wind up looking like that. Like some fucking twisted exhibit. We're not ready. We said it before. There's something in the desert.
Yeah, Dad. I look at the thing. I told you that a little bit ago, but they're role playing outside.
Out of character, Byron. I'm saying this as I'm like getting some C4 to blow up the room, basically.
I love Tesla so much.
You're
you
just going outside? I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just going outside to the car then, and getting like your bag from the back of the.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and start
the Mini Cooper.
The Mini Cooper.
I'm
gonna go ahead and set.
So you realize you'll be setting an explosion in an ancient monument that is a historic Italian site.
I don't think Tesla cares anymore.
Okay.
It would literally be like a terrorist. That would literally
Anymore?
be like a terrorist attack on Italian soil.
Well, I'm sure
That could cause some pretty immediate repercussions for travel.
International incident.
International travel incidents.
Do you
If you
have
guys want to leave Italy at some point, that might not be the best.
Perhaps a chemical reaction would be best. Do you have some lye or very high molar acid that you could pour upon the bodies to destroy them?
Yeah, white phosphorus.
Not usually my style, but I could do fire.
Very well.
Chemicals are not usually my thing.
This is an antiquity. Johnny's probably the only one here who cares about that, actually.
I'll just.
So Lily looks in the professor's bag as he pulls it off like a leather strap pulling off of a piece of ham, and it kind of slips and slides, and the meat makes a really slapping kind of sound as it comes out from underneath the strap. And you open the bag, and like sinew and the blood has soaked into it, so it's just like, you know, kind of like when you're trying to open a container and the stuff's just like sticking to the lid. It's kind of like, yeah, coming open. And inside is a bunch of binders and paperwork.
I'll close it back up. I'll take the bag and I walk over to my Solstice body and I take her badge and I just walk out.
Okay.
I wish we had camera shots of each of these. That's so good. With like Tesla there with that shot with the and then clipping off the badge and walking away, and the coin from last episode. Oh man, so good. So fucking good.
I would point out that we found this place, right, because of the flowers that were in Evan's dream. No? That's how we located this, right? This temple was the flowers.
I just did normal investigative work and saw that there was something out of place here.
But it's the same. It's the fuck, Johnny. You're right. It's the same with the Raven. It's the same fucking thing with the Raven and the plane, and maybe it wasn't coming from the.
It was
mistress.
the same thing with Lucy Westerner too, in the novel.
Told you it was a trap.
I'm like, are you,
Spoke to her through the dreams.
I just kind of like carrying back like some gasoline. I'm like, are you saying, Evan, basically what we should already know, that you're a liability?
Oh!
I suppose
Just
that's
like, oh, do you have a wound here? Let me grab some salt for that for you.
a liability, says the man who was considering committing a massive terrorist act and potentially killing the children that work here as a part-time job to help feed their starving families. You militant fuck. Never speak to me that way again. Never.
There's but one enemy here, and his name is Dracul.
I would give my last breath for any of you.
Let us refrain from inside fighting, as tempting as it may be. We are all ripe targets for derision. I would suggest, though, that perhaps Dr. Mitchell could prescribe something for us, that we have maybe dreamless sleep in the future. That might close this gap, if only so slightly.
I could
Did
spin
you
some.
read the books?
I could spin some points
Did
of
you read the
network.
book?
I
Are you
could
saying this
spin.
in character, or is this out of character?
In character. Did you? I mean, you were just talking
Yes,
about the book.
Yes.
You read the book. You know
Yeah.
that won't work.
That dreamless sleep won't work?
Correct.
Yeah, Dr. Seward had given Lucy Westerner sleeping agents.
But
And it
surely
didn't- it
in
didn't stop it.
150 years, Dr. Mitchell, things have improved.
I'm happy to try.
Maybe it's just time to just face the facts that you have to choose a side, Evan.
I have chosen a side. I'm standing on it.
Electromagnetic helmet.
How many times do I have to say the same thing to you before you get it through your skull? I would give my last breath for you. For her. For Lily. Even for Johnny, for God's sake. For as mean as he can be. The minute that I become a liability, I'll let you shove your C4 straight up my keister and blow me the fuck up. But until then, could we stop arguing and go hunt some goddamn vampires?
You just don't fucking understand it, man. It's like just by being around, you could be leaking information everywhere. Isn't this the proof of it? The proof of it? Who
Much
knows?
the same as you leak hot air. Are you going to really blame these atrocities on me? I just saw the woman that I care about most. The girl that I couldn't... She's dead.
Stop. Tesla, Evan's not the source of revealing all of our points of solace to Dracul. There's something else going on with that.
I don't know. Did you have a conversation with Evan some years ago about who your sponsor was?
No.
It's like I had a conversation with him about my family. Maybe like, I don't know, 2 years ago or so.
Right.
I mean, who knows what information is leaking out of him?
Johnny has told me nothing about his life. Lily seldom talks unless it's to the Tamagotchi. And the first mention of a sponsor that Dr. Mitchell brought up was about 30 fucking minutes ago when she was trying to hold her shit together. For God's sake, do you see what he's done?
We better compare some goddamn notes and figure out what exactly is getting out there.
Right.
Speaking of notes, I got these binders.
Speaking of notes, I got these binders.
We need to get to a safe place and review these. There's plenty of anger to go around here, Tesla, but it should not be between us.
Agreed. Besides,
this is important.
Sorry,
Doctor. This is important information to recognize that the dreams that Evan is having may somehow be connected and that they are dangerous. And we need to work on that. That's a problem. There's no fucking question about that. But it's a problem we're going to address together as a team without pointing fingers of blame back and forth.
I agree with you. This is the team. I think the odds of us not pointing any fingers at all is almost zero, Doctor, but I agree with the sentiment. I would suggest, too, that, Tesla, if you think the dreams are a problem, perhaps the doctor's right, drugs won't work, but maybe a Faraday cage or electromagnetic fields around our sleeping chambers would. Why don't you put that big brain of yours to use, perhaps come up with some ingenious invention to prevent these things instead of accusing poor Evan?
Johnny got snarky. Damn.
Why in the hell do I have to construct a cage to fix him from being?
Do you trust him to fix it? To make
Tesla, do you expect me to sign Lily to build a Faraday cage?
No, what I'm saying is that the answer is simple but hard. Is like, get off the junk that's in his system.
You know,
but
Tesla.
The doctor's not on the junk, and her very dear contact is dead, with which Evan had no knowledge.
I mean, Terry, I hate to say this, but you have to agree. It's like you found some way to get yourself into some sort of recovery at some point, right? It's like maybe this stuff is worse than heroin, crack cocaine, or whatever weird shit you've done, Evan, in the past. But like, there has to be a way for you to get yourself off of this.
Tesla, I'm not on drugs. I'm not on drugs.
I offered to show him the paperwork.
I'm afflicted.
The paperwork we talked about?
I asked myself.
No. We all know that I've been tracking various things regarding Evan, and including Lily, since they did the blood shots and everything. I've been doing performance testing and so forth, and particularly with Evan, with his history of substance abuse, I've been doing special blood tests on him from the beginning.
And to answer your question as to why you would help Evan, because a few weeks ago, Evan made the decision to stand next to you against someone who took a good friend of yours away and was successful and could have died and didn't give a fuck because you're my friend. As twisted as you are, you're my friend. We are in this together until we can't be anymore. If you want me to leave, I will. That's fine. But I don't think it's smart to separate ourselves.
I want you. It's like I just want that, whatever that junk is. I want it out of your system. It's great. You're faster. You look better in a mirror.
Thank you.
It probably is amazing. You know, we're not dumb. it's like there was obviously a big change that happened to you.
Yes.
It's like I don't have to be a doctor to notice that you're practically better at everything than you used to be.
Called puberty, Tesla.
Because I drank from her wrist. I am not on drugs. I chose
I
this
kind of
path.
casually step so that I am in front of Evan.
Oh, I'm burning bodies right now. This is all over
He's
the place.
downstairs, like talking while he's like got a shovel and he's starting fires and all. It's like,
It's all Mike right now.
And if they take a break, Johnny will say, and I would just consider Tesla. It may be that the Hound or someone else insidiously has slipped some minor amount of a mole of some sort of blood into our food supply. We may all be tainted. Perhaps, since all our dreams are being read, perhaps building some equipment to do some sensitive checking is in order.
I'll run some blood work.
No, considering I can't lift 100 more pounds than I used to, I'm gonna go with if there is some kind of thing like that. It's been very small.
It's
Agreed.
possible, but I don't think that we should completely ignore Johnny's remark there, because it is possible that we could be tainted, and none of the rest of us have drunk Elizabeth's blood from her wrist or her neck or her anywhere else.
Anywhere else.
So
For
that would be a
vampire.
major difference that explains that would explain difference
There
in
is some
performance.
mechanism at play here.
Right. We might as well rule that out.
is
And
it
Tesla,
not?
That's
I
for
mean
everybody.
no offense by this, but please just remember, we've talked about the trust issues that you have. Understandably, Evan is a natural target for these, but the evidence points that it goes beyond Evan. So as long as the evidence does that, I don't think it does a lot of good to lay the blame solely on.
I've held my tongue for a long time with that, whatever that street scarlet sanguine, whatever bullshit. I mean, it allowed him to do his job, and I didn't feel like I could talk to him about it because I didn't want to, get his mojo all messed up. But this is a whole different thing.
He's no longer on the street, Scarlet. I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah, why does he need it when he has actual vampirism on tap?
Yep.
You know, if there's any way you could maybe be better at your wet work so that we could proceed with our mission, that would be fantastic.
While they're doing this, if the doctor isn't looking at the portfolios that Lily took out, Johnny will take a look at them, and I'll just note that Johnny is pleased that the argument at least is distracting both Evan and Tesla from their angst.
And
So
what
that's
I
good.
love is that
So I'm
all the
assuming
rest of
this
us are
argument-
standing up there, and poor Tesla's down there just like shredding. I don't know. He's like putting him through a meat grinder, and
No, I'm spreading gasoline around and basically trying to put him in a way to burn him.
yeah.
So are you gonna get up there? Are you gonna get up there somehow and cut them down?
No, I'm just gonna try to.
Because the gasoline's not gonna reach up there.
Yeah, I don't really have much of a choice.
Yeah, you do.
And
I'll,
this building's made of stone.
I'll help.
Are they
I-
hanging by
I need
chains
some
or by
options.
ropes?
It's hard to tell from this distance, but you would guess some sort of like combination of both.
Mhm.
Oh, damn.
All right, I'll pull out my combat knife. Stability check. I don't know. This is gonna be pretty.
So
terrible.
you realize as you start thinking about pulling out your combat knife and maybe trying to make your way up there somehow, you realize that there is no way up there.
Mm.
It's literally hanging in the middle of the air.
Oh,
So
no.
unless you have a jetpack or maybe can sprout rings out of your back.
Boba Fett. Tesla Fett.
So, I'm just gonna run my hands down my face. I'm just gonna chuckle a little bit to myself, and I'm gonna be like, all right, guys, I'm gonna have. It's like I'm gonna be starting the fire pretty soon. Get ready to exfil, and I'm gonna start just calmly laying out the C4 in a controlled explosion,
Well, just burn the bodies on the chains. It's you know.
I just pretend that I'm actually gonna light them on fire, and then I'm gonna just actually lay down C4.
Oh, fuck.
I don't
And
think
then-
Johnny would have let you carry C4 into the building.
I can't really stop Tesla from carrying C4.
You don't have your
I,
high
I mean, considering
I mean, you're right. You might not be able to stop it.
I just walk in with. I mean, I'm walking in with like a duffel bag filled with stuff.
Well, they know what your shit is. They've seen you go get your bag 100 times. Like,
True.
I don't think the rest of the team is just gonna let you walk in there. They
Well, I'll
might.
just say it never occurred to me that Tesla would say one thing and do another until he just said that. So if you want to make some sort of roll, but otherwise,
I mean, well,
Johnny
a gas can is like one size, and his explosives bag is like another size. Like they're not. They're pretty easily figured out.
you have
Like,
a good
he took the
point.
gas can with the intention of burning them until he realized they're on a chain he can't reach.
Yeah,
That-
and so I guess if anyone cares to notice while they're doing all their talking and stuff, you'll see me walk back out and go retrieve my explosives and walk back in.
I think if I wait, I've got an idea. Just hear me out. What if we just call in an anonymous tip? You just hear me out, and let whatever plays out play out. A conspiracy websites it'll be fantastic, and we don't have to blow up a fucking monument. We may need this place. There may be something here.
We call the ring in too. The ring could take out.
That's why he's Johnny. That's smart. Probably got someone with like a scissor lift or something. Try not to laugh. Just like
Do we have a contact? I mean, do we contact the Hound? Who do we contact at the?
So I don't want to derail things too much, but on a side note, that conversation is presuming that you guys are aware that I've given up on burning them. So I don't know. We haven't really.
Well, actually, that was Johnny's first suggestion, was to get the ring involved. But if you're willing to burn the bodies, if you're still saying you're burning the bodies, say it. But
and don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to derail you from doing what you're doing in any
Yeah.
way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
I'm trying to give
Rob,
you.
I mean-
I'm trying to give you the player agency to do that. I just want everyone to have understand they would have witnessed you carry the bag.
Oh yeah, anybody who was interested in looking at what I was doing, they would have seen me first go in with some explosives, say over the mic, it's like, some gasoline. Then they would have heard over the mic, it's like, okay, I'm gonna like have this lit up in like 10-15 minutes.
Right.
And then I'll walk back out, come in and get my big explosives duffel bag.
Right. So remember, you guys drove like one of those little Mini Coopers.
we're
So
dropping.
everybody's standing around it. They
yeah.
have some binders and stuff out on top of the thing.
Yeah, Johnny was, like I said, going to read the binders.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you come back out and you open the trunk and pull out the explosives bag and go walking back in.
Whoa. What are you doing? That's the bad bag. That isn't that the big problem bag.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep the explosion minimal.
I just think about this. Like Evan knows Tesla's precision too, and I mean, if he,
Facts.
all right.
He does have like white phosphorus and plenty of other things, like the type of charges that special forces uses to burn out the inside of a helicopter so that the technology isn't recovered by whatever.
Does that mean I get to
Not just,
drive?
yeah.
I'll
It's
start
just
the
a matter
car.
of if that's the ones he's going to use.
Evan drives like Mr. Bean, but he'll start the car since Tesla's going to do the boom boom thing and just
Okay.
get ready. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Johnny, you're looking at the binders, and there's a slew of documentation in there, and there's like a whole section as you start flipping through. To a normal person reading this stuff and looking at it would probably not really tip them off. But with the things that you guys have been involved in, seen, linked, and so forth, you begin to see a pattern of that the monks from this tomb could have literally been related or somehow positioned in a way that they were in a similar society as the people who ran the church in Romania.
Hmm.
And it's dating back to the era of the Knights Templar, which you did find, if you remember, in the basement of the church in Romania, the original one, there was the scenic thing of the Knights Templar bowing in front of the different things.
Tesla, before you burn those bodies,
That was so a year and a half ago.
did you,
was.
Evan, did you, when you looked at the ground radar, did you see anything underneath this temple?
I did. I saw
No.
I
Just
saw
this.
just that little tunnel thing, right?
Yeah.
Not beyond what we've seen already. No. Do you want me to look
All right.
again?
I mention it because looking at these documents, it seems as if the structure of this brotherhood, besides just being free-range organic monks, they were also structured very much like the society that we saw when we first infiltrated and saw the tomb underground the day that we how should I put it, used the drone strike with the plastic explosives.
Oh, Boomhilda. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And
May she rest in peace.
so perhaps this monastery, or perhaps this dwelling, has some resemblance to that as well. But if you don't see anything in the ground radar, I suppose, Lily, did you and Tesla, did you do a physical inspection along the ground to see if there were any trapdoors? Something that, for example, could not be erased from a satellite image?
So just to save you from a red herring, you're throwing yourself down a really bad, like that. You're not finding anything there.
All right. Hey,
Yeah.
that was good speculation.
No, I was-
I'm gonna come off the D's.
I know. I was just hoping that I hadn't misled you into believing something else based off my answers. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I was inferring. I was making a guess.
I know. Okay.
Listen,
All right,
Dan,
so-
you've got your switchblade out, okay? So,
No, my stiletto.
yeah, no.
I mean, we can sit here and rearrange the statues for 2 hours.
It's a
Yeah.
switchblade and it's
Exactly.
It's both. All right. All right. Well, so there is some sort of dynastic connection between these two. They seem to be related.
Yeah. So also, as you begin to flip through, because you're kind of telling yourself this, and you're talking to them at the same time as you're kind of flipping through the things, and you see several things. So you see a map of Romania, and it shows Brand Castle, and you also see one that is actually very close to that, which is the site of another castle that's on the other side of like this. It's probably 50 to 60 miles away from Brand Castle. There's another castle there, and then you see a notation, and you see another like pin mark or notation on the map in the gorge, in Bakaz Gorge, which is between the two castles. And the notation says, submerged castle thought to be the true home of Dracula.
Are you for scuba?
And this is written in the hand. I look at it like, is it in the hand of the same hand that wrote the rest of it?
Yeah, it's definitely from the professor. And she notates that in the 1860s that the river flooded the gorge.
I say nothing immediately.
It was actually, I'm sorry, I gave you the wrong date. It was 1894 during an earthquake. The same earthquake that buried the church in Romania.
Oh, no shit.
Mm.
All right, let us finish our business here. I think I may have found our next objective, but if you all don't mind, I will fill you in a little bit later. I think discretion might be the better part here for a moment. I take those pages, and I fold them up carefully and
Oh,
put
you
them
can take the whole bag if you want.
Well, I'll take the specific pieces though. I'll
Okay,
take them.
yeah.
Okay. but well, I'll spend some time looking at the rest of it. I think we may have our next objective, but like I said, because of the problems that we've had, until we perfect the Faraday cage or some other means, let us just say that we will serve the objectives both Tesla, Evan, Lily, and of course Dr. Mitchell, you've all desired.
So I want to say that, we've been kind of watching him as he's going through these documents, and I see that sees something and stops. And I can tell that he doesn't, especially with this little speech, that he's really hiding it from Evan at this point. And I don't know what it is, and I'm not going to ask for the reasons that you just stated. We need to be careful. But I say, let's all remember that anything that he left for us here, he meant for us to find. And that includes whatever's in those books.
Speaking of which, did we search the woman's car?
Understood.
On the off chance.
What was that?
You haven't yet.
We should search the professor's car, just to see if there's anything clever in the trunk. Or
I'll go search the car.
I'll go with Lily.
Okay. So it seems like you were able to go back in kind of unmolested there, Mr. Tesla.
Yeah, I'm gonna start setting it up.
I think he's gonna do the right thing.
I left the Mini Cooper running.
Yeah, I'll keep it relatively. I mean, I'm keeping it small. I'm not trying to make, because I do I'll just say.
Why don't you message me?
I'll turn off my mic and I'll go to my daughter and I'll just say I'm sorry, kid. I'm such a piece of shit.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then I forgot to like so I'll actually close their eyes. But in fact, I'll close everyone's eyes. Why not? Since I'm here. Yeah.
Some of them are a little difficult to read.
Oh yeah, I forgot with the height thing. Yeah.
You're so gross.
So,
I hate you.
The ones I can.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I forgot about the height part.
I can't believe you guys in this scene, but you were all like mortified with my 9 deaths of David the other day. I cannot reconcile that.
I haven't said a damn
Was this
thing.
something
That was dark.
to the
That was
convention,
fucking
or-
dark. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Sorry, so sorry.
That's dark compared to this? No way. Yeah, we'll tell you after, Dan.
Pole beans, for fuck's sake, Tara. Pole beans.
You loved it.
I did. I'm still loving it.
But yeah, I'm gonna get it ready to go. And just make sure that this room is just annihilated.
You get the little cell phone trigger all set up.
Mhm.
Or are you gonna be more direct? Are you gonna run wire? The wire would probably be
I would know
evidence.
this. Is the cell phone trigger actually going to reach in here? This place
You
looks.
don't know. Remember, you guys did have some cell phone coverage up to part of it.
Right.
You know there must be some kind of coverage because Evan's cell phone had coverage.
Mhm. That's true, and our comms have been working on the inside, so that.
Comms have been working, yeah.
So, I'll run a line. Why not?
Well, keep in mind the line would show evidence.
I'm not excessively worried about it.
Okay.
As we all see him like running the line, and he's got a plunger box.
What
are you doing?
That doesn't look like fun. That doesn't look like gasoline.
Dynamite's written on the side, the Y backwards.
Acme. It says Acme on the side of the box. It
Yes.
always works well.
No,
Got a
A
little
road runner
Wiley,
runs by.
little Wiley Coyote engraved in the side of the box.
I guess I'll try the old cell phone approach, but I'm gonna have to activate it, and we're not gonna be as far away as I wanted to. Because if it doesn't work, then I got to go back in and try to do something else. But I don't want to leave a fucking line of bullshit. You know how it is.
Up to you. Just
Yeah.
remember. So there is an actual mechanic in this game we have yet to use called heat. And
Oh,
if
shit.
you start doing shit, that fucking creates international problems. Like, you could actually get hunted down by the international community.
That'd be so unfortunate for them.
It might be.
Go over the mic as you're finishing up and go, just remember, Tesla, I know you're really mad. We're all really mad. But we're still in this together.
I know we are.
Don't do anything that fucks that up.
Yeah. It's like it might cause a minor stir, but I don't think it's going to be anything too big. As long as the outside's not too damaged. Who knows? Maybe they'll chalk it up to some kind of methane gas explosion or something like that.
Methane gas underneath an ancient crypt. Lots of methane. Damn methane problems.
Yeah, you
All
know,
those dead
it happens
monks,
all the
you know?
time. Methane gas.
All that damn fracking in the area. It just releases gas. leak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't picture the Italian government allow you to frack anywhere near here.
Well, of course not. It's not frack. It's Italian frack. It's fracchini. See, it's
Fracking.
fracchini.
Oh, it's a fracking. Fracking. It's so fracking ridiculous.
That's right. It's so fracchini ridiculous.
All right.
So Evan and I are gonna go check out this professor's car.
Okay. So yeah, Tesla comes kind of strolling out, kind of like MacGruber walking out of the
You
place.
flick a lighter and throw it over his shoulder.
He's got a little bit of like swagger to him as he's walking.
You know, it's like the Mini Cooper is there with the door open, running, and his I have put his favorite metal CD, which I keep in my bag for when we need to escape quickly. It's ready for him to push in, so that we can escape his terrorism. Let's go check out like blip blip. Let's see what's in Professor Cadaver's. Let's see what's in there.
Cadaver.
I need to take a little quick potty break, so this would be a good bio break.
Dude,
Maybe we'll just take one.
Brent, I love Tesla so much, and this episode, like you own it, it's not a trap, it's a message. That was like profound. This is a moment where like, oh, I love it.
The challenge.
Yeah, we just need to kill. We just need to start killing vampires. I think. I don't know
I
that.
agree.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know that that's going to work out the way we think it will, but.
I don't either.
How could it go wrong? I mean, come on.
We've been semi-successful so far.
Matt, I just wanted to say hi to you. We were in the thick of it, but thank you for coming and watching our nonsense. Glad you're here. Would love for you to run some of your games. Tell us when it's happening so I can host it and also play in it if I'm allowed. So this Saturday, actually, we're doing a Star Trek thing. I was going to ask you if I could have 11 character sheets. All of them are red shirts. So I could be, when you're frustrated, you could just kill one of my characters.
There you go. We could just like take the one sheet, copy it 11 times.
Exactly. I'll just change the name every once in a while. Do a random name generator. Yeah. So it's a Star Trek Cthulhu thing. So we're joining forces with Lurking Fears. We're gonna, yes, exactly like Paranoia. We're gonna do. At the very least, Myth Brigade's gonna host it. I'm trying to weasel my way into playing it. If nothing else, I'll host and watch it and fanboy. I don't know if you're watching the chat. Did you see that? He said, "I'm sorry, I almost spit wine all over my book." It said,
I must say, I believe I got to play in that game.
It looks like I have a spot saved, so I'm going to clear my
Yeah.
Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah.
When
If Kirk rips his shirt off, he gets a bonus. I have played
that's
that game.
awesome.
I have played that game. Where
Yeah.
was that? Was at
Conglomeration, I believe.
Conglomeration, man.
I believe we played that.
Shit. I don't know if you're ready for that, man.
I am ready. If I got through the Cthulhu, Winnie the Cthulhu, it's gonna be amazing.
If you get Kirk, you got to make sure you're like, oh.
No, you got to do the whole fall down and kick your feet out. That sweet like finishing move, or the two-fisted punch in the shoulder that would be more like a massage to most people, but would like knock.
Like you're fighting a Gorn.
Yeah, like oh.
Yeah, I don't think deep ones respond to that. Or,
So Dan,
I think you have to figure out how to do the.
in
Action,
Shauna's
though.
game,
It's more Barack Obama than.
I went crazy because that fucking game, everybody started with 35 sand or less.
Horrible
So-
characters. Dude.
One
It wasn't Shauna's fault
failed
at all.
sand roll, and we were all crazy.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was perfectly sane.
So
Perfect.
my character worked very hard as lost her husband in the war and raised her son on her own, but didn't really know him because she worked so hard in the 20s, and this was a source of strife for her and sadness. So Shauna, lovely woman that she is,
Unctuous brew.
unctuous brew,
Unctuous brew, Matt.
made my penalty based partly on a die roll and partly on her evil genius. I had to, for 1d10, a roll of the d10 rounds, have nightmares about my son dying.
Ooh.
And I had to describe them for 9 rounds. So I did, and these fuckers were disturbed.
Yeah. Meanwhile, what I loved about this is Shauna was so excited with the big bad. Right, the big bad was coming out of the tea fields at us, but Byron's character was reaching into his bag. This is so perfect because he was sitting right next to me, so I could hear kind of what his plan was. He's going to reach into his bag and get a syringe to calm one of the NPCs down who was losing her shit, and so he had his hand on a syringe of sedatives or whatever, and then he lost all his sand or 10%, whatever. What was it, a fit of violence or something? So you grabbed your scalpel instead.
Murderous rage.
Murderous rage.
Yeah, murderous rage. Grabs a scalpel and then proceeds to kill all but one character, and that was himself.
Well, I tried to cut her face off too. So all my
Yeah.
rage was focused on the NPC that had just pissed me off. I was about to put her down, and then I was really about to put her down. And so my character's name was Dr. Cutling.
That's
And
so
I was
good.
like, Dr.
cut up.
Cutling's time to cut. And so I pulled out my medical scalpel and tried to slash her face off.
Yeah. And so he's stabbing her or whatever, cutting, and I'm like, my character is like, oh no, and grabs a log and hits him in the back.
Yeah.
Stop it! And then he turns around and straight up murders me in one round. It was beautiful. It was so beautiful.
Two?
And then slices my
2
face
rounds?
off. Yeah, that's right. It was two slashers. Slashes my face off, plants it on his own, probably a free action, and then off he goes, dispatching the rest with such glee. And meanwhile, Sean is just like, okay, well, so the monster's coming. And he's like, ah! I love it. So
We're
good.
all insane, so who cares?
Yeah,
This is good.
it was great.
Nice.
Bad characters.
Yeah, they really
Based on-
were. They really
Had
were.
everything.
Hilarious.
It was intended, and the thing is, like
Great GM. And
Yeah.
players.
Great GM and players. That's
yeah.
the opportunity for
That's the
sand
only thing
checks.
that made it fun.
Yeah, well, you start out with sand checks that or sand that low, and then suddenly you're just like facing all these different opportunities, and yeah, it was bad. It was.
Oh no, it sounds fabulous though. It doesn't sound bad at all to me. It sounds awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
well,
We
think
had a
about
great
it.
time.
Yeah.
Well, the
That's what matters,
unexpected result is so wonderful, right? It's like it's entertaining. No one knew it was going to go there. You know, Byron cuts everyone's face off. End of story.
Yeah,
You know,
and except one, I guess Byron, Dr. Cutling was the only survivor, and the monster probably ate him.
Oh
right?
yeah, he died. He died to the monster.
Yeah.
so you killed everyone except the
It's
monster.
like a color larva. What's it? Is a color larva or something like that? What was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because once he woke up and got out of his situation, like he realized
that
that
did
and went re-insane.
re-insane, and then, so yeah.
All right, so
Nice.
Yes. So,
meanwhile,
yes, you have these documents and so forth, and some
is
of
the
which
car
you
clean?
pocketed separately. The car is pretty well maintained. There's a it looks like somebody kind of uses it for driving back and forth. Not really like they're not extremely professional, but there's some cigarettes and stuff stored in the little like glove compartment in the dash, and it also has a Starbucks cup. It looks like it was freshly used not that long ago. Some
Are
clothes.
there any bugs in the car? Any trackers?
None that you see. A cursory swipe or sweep by Evan and Tesla. Assuming now that Tesla is done with his
It was me and
bang jobs.
it was me and Evan, but yes.
Oh yeah, so Evan doesn't necessarily have some of that equipment. He has some, so he could search for electronic signals being broadcast from the car or stuff like that. Other than picking up the signal for like the key fob, and it does look like it has like some sort of online capability, like a SOS type deal, Starlink or whatever you want to call it.
Nice.
OnStar.
In the 80s?
OnStar. Those
Mm.
are around
Yeah, in the
2010.
80s?
2010. You're not in the
We're
80s.
in 2010.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we,
you're in 2010.
Are we? Okay, then yeah.
Yeah,
that's why we have all these extra explosive drones.
exactly.
There must have been a pandemic.
Actually, you don't even have any regular drones, let alone extra.
Yeah.
Nice try, though. That was valid.
Sorry. Okay.
I'm gonna give them to you in the last minutes of the episode.
Yeah, so just a search and then, start up the car and see if the 2010, so see if the address book in there has got phone numbers and whatever, just kind of gather what data I can.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, you can find her house. You can find, like, her office.
Okay.
So, is
Oh,
anybody
so
else
you
worried about driving this car? No, just me.
Well, it doesn't have much lumbar support, to be honest, but,
I'm sure we can drive
A
it.
Fiat.
Ooh.
I mean,
It's like that big.
worried about being tracked or nobody?
We don't actually have to take this car, do we? We have ours.
Yeah, we have our Maxi Cooper or whatever, our big Mini Cooper.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just leave this here, maybe. So that
I'm
way.
just saying, if we take this car, we're gonna have to dump it very
Yeah.
soon. Just to make sure.
I don't see any reason to take it.
I
I
agree.
just want to make sure there's no other information left in it.
Mm-hmm. There's around it. Is there any sign of a struggle or, just kind of looking around? Was she? Because she was getting in her car when she was nabbed. It was just completely clean.
The
or-
rocks in the parking lot look to be disturbed, and looks like maybe a shoe or something was dragged across the asphalt.
Okay.
Oh, so she was dragged, maybe?
No, only a short way. Like maybe a foot. And then she must have lost contact with the ground somehow.
Was the when it goes black, the camera, is it just like that, or is it like there's like that sort of magnetic tape sort of disruption?
Yeah, magnetic tape type of obstruction.
Mentioned that to Tesla as well.
Okay.
And also, I guess,
me.
well, okay, yeah, I'll mention the whole group and say, do we think that Evan, perhaps, I mean, you best know that this was purposefully cut out, or is it possible that an entity emitted such a strong radiomagnetic resonance that they actually, their presence caused the camera to fail?
I think if you look at the time code, it continues. If it
Does
was
it?
if it was right, the darkness continues through a period of time. Because you mentioned, Byron, that it was dark for... so there's no... If it was cut, then it would just stop and start. And this
Is there a clock on it? Like, there's a clock that keeps running, Byron, on the thing?
No, it just wipes. Just shuts down completely.
You're saying there's like 10 minutes
hold
of
on,
static,
hold on.
right?
The clock would still be there. I had to think about it. Sorry.
Johnny.
There's a
I'm gonna be
clock.
honest with
Yeah,
you.
the clock is overlaid. The signal comes.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna be honest with you, Johnny. Who gives a fuck at this point? Does it even matter?
Tesla, are you been through traumatic experience? One question that remains is, was it a minion of Dracul, or was it Dracul himself who came?
Makes no difference. Doesn't make him any less dead.
I agree. It makes no difference to the
if it was a
dead.
minion, what are we going to do? Kill that? We're going to kill that minion any harder than we're going to kill Dracula?
Well, for example, one thing we might do is see if there's any residue left that would allow us to track the presence of either this powerful being, or if it's a minion, perhaps them as well. One thing to do too is to see if there's any forensic evidence here that might help us in the future to identify them. Would we even know Dracul if we saw him?
Well, I think he's got
Would he
like
disguise himself and such that we would not even know his presence?
I think he's got a fantastic widow's peak, and
In the novels, could he
Prominent
make
teeth.
himself appear otherwise?
Well, if you remember correctly, back at the church where you got the bag from Harker, you think that's who that was?
Right. And he could change his appearance, but Evan, you've demonstrated that you can kind of sense the presence of other vampires and some sort of I don't know if we've identified exactly what it is, but I kind of feel like it's almost their aura. You can tell whether they're of your bloodline.
if he gives off anything like what I felt just watching the video when he was nearby, yeah, I'll feel him.
So what,
Well, then
so what-
back at the club, when Ryzen, may he rest in peace, bit the dust, you were able to identify friendlies.
I don't
In
know
that
if they
environment.
honestly, Dr. Mitchell, I don't know that they were friendly. I just know they got a smell and like a temperature thing.
You know what I mean. That's
Yeah. 'Cause I don't
your
remember
line
knowing.
versus
I don't remember
your
knowing.
line versus not your line.
Is that true,
what you're
Byron?
saying is
I don't
when you
remember.
That video, it gave you major willies. Like you could tell it was something real tough.
It felt like something was reaching out of the video and grabbing my fucking throat, actually.
No, I mean, it sounds like all the proof we need. You've come into contact with other vampires. You never had a reaction like that before.
No.
Yeah. So the other vampire that you're kind of referring to, or whatever, the smell incident, that was Anika. At the
Yeah.
nightclub.
Yeah, she was the. Yes.
She was the one that looked Indian.
Yep.
That said that the top of the tower could be.
She wasn't my
used as-
bloodline, though, was she?
She was not.
Yeah.
Not that you're aware of. So
Yeah.
at the time, you were trying to sort whether or not she was a Dracul vampire.
Right.
You really think to look to see if you thought she could be sired from Elsbeth.
Yeah.
You didn't compare yourself to her. You only compared.
Yeah. Okay.
So that information is kind of out there. You're not sure.
Okay.
But you would assume that there's at least two bloodlines you know of.
Do the catalogs indicate why she was tracking this location and this underwater, like submerged church? Like, does it go into how she came upon them and why she's doing this?
So she believes that the historical evidence is basically falsified.
Oh, so the location of this submerged church or tomb, I'm sorry, is it church or a tomb? Castle, is has been falsified in historical records to make it appear as if it doesn't exist or exists somewhere else, like it's Dracul's castle. Like the one that we...
Yeah, there are two castles in Romania that are supposed to be like Dracula's castle. One is Bran Castle, and the other one that is actually since the 1970s. The city of Brasov, as Dracula's castle, is primarily, upon its Gothic appearance, a relative good repair. Castle Bran appeared in a number of 19th century guidebooks and tour descriptions of Transylvania, which is where Stoker drew his local color, if he used this flavor for those. And one of the other castle was used by a man named Matthias Corvinus, who actually imprisoned the Impaler for 2 months in 1462 before transferring him to Visegrad Castle in Hungary.
Do we know the exact location at this point of the desert, I call it tomb, that we think is Dracula's bride, the one that belongs to, forgive me, Lilith?
Well, you know that it's actually supposedly underneath a Jewish monument or a Judean temple.
Deep in the desert.
It's deep in the Judean desert.
And do we know? I mean, okay, so all we know is it's under a Jewish temple. We don't know where it's located. Is that right?
Well, you had heard from the one guy that you kind of captured that they had a base of operations out there in the desert.
So we would know where to go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
You were able to track some information that said there was a Mossad, some sort of Mossad base out there.
Evan, don't read too much into this, but do you know how to hack into a Yugoslavian or Romanian defense system to reroute a tactical missile to a certain location that's unpopulated? It would have to be something it would have to be non-atomic, but something that would essentially wipe out a football field of radar.
That's your idea of a hello, eh?
Did anybody watch Real Genius?
I suppose I can make that work, but what's that gonna do for our cause? Are you gonna walk away with?
And what's that gonna do to the international community if you go launching ballistic missiles between countries?
Barring any sort of
Ask
rare
Tesla.
species of pike that may live in the river that I'm thinking about, I have a certain longitude and latitude that if you can make this happen, I think we should just nuke the site from space, to quote a popular film.
So this is where our old audio interface decided to glitch out and create a jitter that made the audio just unlistenable. Usually when this would happen, we'd catch it and fix it, but unfortunately we didn't in this case. So good news is the audio hardware has been replaced and the problem is gone. Bad news is, yeah,